My name is Kathy, and today I'll be discussing how to use homeopathic remedies on ailments, continuing with infections, infestations, and the immune system starting with the letter L. But before I do this, I wanted to let you know that because I have a great many videos now on many different topics, that I've decided to make several different video playlists so that it's easier to find videos of greatest interest. So please check out my playlist page. Please refer to my How to Use Homeopathic Remedies video before using the material in this video. I'll be discussing how to use homeopathic remedies on specific ailments, but I've broken these ailments into categories for easier reference. I'll begin with ailments of the mind and emotions. Then I'll move on to ailments of the brain and nervous system. Then I'll address issues with your skin, nails, hair, eyes, ears, nose, teeth, gums, lungs, respiration, heart, blood, circulation, muscles, bones, joints, esophagus, stomach, duodenum, small and large intestine, liver, gallbladder, pancreas, kidney, bladder, then ailments specific to women and specific to men, then issues of the hormones and the metabolism, and then homeopathic remedies for infections, infestations, and the immune system, then issues surrounding fertility, pregnancy, childbirth, postnatal problems, remedies that address special problems in infants, ailments and diseases in childhood, and special issues of adolescence, and finally, special issues of the elderly. Constitutional treatment involves treating the totality of the individual person. Everyone is a unique individual with a unique physiology that responds to substances differently. In homeopathy, it's recognized that people will react strongly to certain remedies, and as a result of this, they can be loosely placed into different categories called constitutional types. Homeopaths talk of, for example, phosphoric types. These are people who react strongly to phosphorus, or arsenicum album types, those who react strongly to arsenicum album. The belief is that people of one type share similarities in terms of body shape, character, and personality, and the sorts of diseases from which they suffer. As an example, Leprominium people tend to be pear-shaped, have a dark complexion, be fastidious and rigid in personality, and keep themselves to themselves. They also crave salt and suffer from constipation. As another example, Lycopodium types tend to be tall, gangly, and of a stooped appearance, with an anxious expression and a craving for sweets and a propensity to produce intestinal gas. Now, of course, constitutional types have their limitations. In reality, each person is an individual, and so there are as many constitutional types as there are human beings. An account must be taken of the sum total of the person's inherent predispositions, past illnesses, diet, general reactions to the environment, intellectual and emotional features, and general attitude towards life. This is what is meant by constitutional treatment. I'll be making detailed videos of the various constitutional types after I've completed the use of homeopathic remedies on ailments. The ideas, procedures, and suggestions in this video and all my homeopathic videos are not intended as a substitute for the medical advice of a trained health professional. Consult your physician before adopting the suggestions in this video. If you're pregnant, do not attempt these techniques without the approval of your physician. So, let us continue with learning how homeopathic treatments can help with infections, infestation, and the immune system, starting with the letter L. Infections are an almost daily occurrence, but if we are healthy, our immune systems deal with them before we notice any symptoms. Most microorganisms enter the body through the nose and mouth, in the air, in our food, sometimes on dirty fingers. Some enter through cuts and abrasions, while others invade the urinary or reproductive tract through the urethra or vagina. Many of the microorganisms with which we share this planet are harmless. Some permanently inhabit the inside and outside of the human body. A few even produce substances useful to it and prevent harmful bacteria from finding a foothold. This is true of certain bacteria in the large intestine and vagina. Some bacteria are harmless in one part of the body, but damaging in others. This is true of E. coli, which is benign while it is in the colon or rectum, but harmful if it is transferred to the urethra, vagina, or mouth. Each kind of microorganism, whether it is a bacterium, virus, fungus, or blood parasite, carries special chemical markers known as antigens. Some strains of lymphocytes, which is a kind of white blood cell produced in the lymph nodes, spleen, bone marrow, adenoids, tonsils on the wall of the gut, recognize antigens and stimulate other lymphocytes to produce proteins called antibodies, which then disable the carrier organism. Other lymphocytes directly attack and destroy the invading organism. For about 6 months after birth, babies are protected by their mother's antibodies. After that, the immune system is sufficiently mature to start manufacturing its own. Homeopathic immunization does not involve introducing live or dead viruses or antibodies into the body. Instead, remedies are prepared from diseased tissues or secretions using the traditional dilution and succession method. Like other homeopathic remedies, they contain in highly potent form the essence of the source material used. In this case, the essence of the disease organism and its toxins. The bodies react to such remedies known as nosodes by sharpening their immune response. The production of antibodies in response to antigens, the so-called immune response, is not the body's only line of defense. The body's first-line troubleshooters are neutrophils and macrophages, which are 2 kinds of white blood cells that constantly patrol the bloodstream and tissue fluids that respond immediately to the chemical and thermal signals sent out by tissues when they become inflamed. If inflammation is suppressed, white cell activity is impaired. Neutrophils and macrophages gobble up and digest offending microbes, foreign particles, and other noxious elements. The resulting pus is a mixture of necrotic tissue, dead bacteria, and dying white blood cells. Infections can be treated by killing the germs that cause them or by helping the immune system to deal with them, or both, depending on general health and the virulence of the infection. Traditional antibiotics can deal with bacteria, but not viruses. After a course of antibiotics, live yogurt or kefir, eaten daily for at least 5 days, helps to repopulate the gut with the beneficial bacteria that the antibiotics have killed, along with the harmful bacteria that was their main target. Homeopathic remedies, improved nutrition, fresh air, exercise, and rest can restore the coping ability of the immune system. In some cases, homeopathic remedies and antibiotics used together may be necessary. Constitutional homeopathic treatment is always advisable after serious infections. Occasionally, as a result of aging or exposure to certain viruses, bacteria, chemicals, and environmental factors, the body loses some of its ability to discriminate between self and non-self, or fails to recognize and destroy its own abnormal cells. The first kind of impairment leads to autoimmune diseases such as rheumatoid arthritis and systemic lupus. The second leads to cancer. Allergies, distressing reactions to certain drugs, chemicals, foods, and other substances that seem to be tolerated by the majority of people are the downside of having an immune system. Legionnaires Disease. Legionnaires disease is caused by bacteria that lurk in air conditioning systems and possibly water. The initial symptoms resemble those of influenza or pneumonia, with the added discomfort of diarrhea, vomiting, and abnormal sleepiness or drowsiness. Possible complications include kidney failure, respiratory failure, and shock. So hospital treatment is essential. Antibiotics are part of the treatment. Recovery takes 3 to 4 weeks. For appropriate homeopathic remedies, see my videos on influenza and pneumonia. Leprosy. Leprosy is a bacterial disease caught through prolonged contact with an infected person. Leprosy is now limited to tropical countries. The disease damages skin and nerves, especially those of the hands and feet, causing numbness and paralysis. Fingers and toes with no sensation in them are easily injured. Leprosy can now be cured with modern drugs, but treatment is slow and may have to be continued for many years. An early diagnosis of this disease makes treatment easier. Apart from antibiotics, homeopathic medicines are also effective when it comes to treating leprosy. Homeopathy is a holistic form of treatment that addresses not only the symptoms of the disease, but also the root cause of the infection. One of the biggest advantages of homeopathy is that it has negligible side effects. When it comes to leprosy, homeopathy can be used to reduce inflammation and pain, drain sores, and promote suppuration. It can also strengthen the immune system to prevent recurring sores and boils. Specific remedies to be taken 4 times daily. If the patient has a tendency to suffer from eruptions, curvature of the spine, and has wrinkled and flabby skin, and has a voracious appetite triggered by diseased glands, the symptoms may also be aggravated by washing, and the affected area may itch more on scratching. There is a tendency for the folds of the skin to be sore. Use Sulphur 6C. If the patient has swollen lymph glands and prominent moist skin sores that bleed and ooze, tenacious discharge be turning into scabs and the scalp, face, joints, and in the folds of the skin. The patient may experience an absence of sweat, and the hair falls out. Use Graphites 6C. For swollen abdomen and open fontanelles with excessive sweating, use the combination of Calcarea Carb 6C and Silicea 6C. For reddish skin that is covered with vesicles and the patient suffers from intense itching, use Rhus 6C. For large blisters on the skin accompanied by intense burning, the blisters may look like burn blisters, use Cantharis 6C. For small blisters that itch terribly and form pustules that dry into yellowish scabs, use Croton Tigilium 6C. Leprominium Nosode. Also, you can use Leprominium Nosode 30C. That's Leprominium Nosode 30C. I have a great many videos now on many different topics, and so I've decided to make several different video playlists so that it's easier to find the videos of greatest interest. So please check out my playlist page. Well, that's it for now. To stay up to date with my latest videos, make sure to subscribe to this free YouTube channel by clicking the red subscribe button right below this video. Take care.